Hello and welcome to my stairwell. Now you'll just see this is an overhead view of the garden. You can just see a little bit of the blossom, this little microcosm of spring which is appearing all over Europe at the moment. Now, but also I just want to welcome you to my stairwell. Yes, it may not seem like anything very glamorous, but I want to give you a couple of updates on some good things that have happened on the good administration front recently. Now, I had to fight for this, but thanks to a lovely person at the Berlin Bauamt, like the building supervisor, my toilet has been renovated. It's very beautiful, and here you'll see the orange trees just sheltering from the frost, but everything is pretty much back in order here. There are some good administrators everywhere who are there to help you. You just have to know how to find them. You'll also see these plants are sheltering because we're still waiting for more freezing this week. It's not quite late spring yet. But also, we've had some interesting action recently in the building with, we do have a better administrator now, but we also had some visitors, some migrants, and look, they left this primitive kind of wall art behind them. It says Boss Jungs. Boss Jungs. Basically, these are kind of like ancestors of the German Vandal tribe, but now they're like middle-class German lads from this neighbourhood who visited our building recently. And the reason they were able to visit our building was because, well, our front door was broken because for months our bad lack of administration hadn't fixed the door, so anybody could just walk in. But, we did end up with these beautiful pieces of primitive art. That one not quite as successful. But our new good building administrator, as soon as that happened, she got the door fixed. So again, another good example of good administration. Now also, welcome out into the courtyard again. And somebody who saw the first good administrator video was so inspired that she talked to her building maintenance guys, the gardeners. She lives in a Giebelbach building. This is like Gemeinbau, Wohnung, something. It's like social housing in Berlin. And they were coming with a leaf blower. You might remember Leaf Blower Man. He would always blow the leaves behind the rubbish bins every week, and I would scoop them all up. But so the similar thing was happening at their place, and then they would take them all away. But this friend of mine, she thought, I don't want to lose this resource, and she has talked to these guys with the leaf blower, and they're going to blow the leaves into a special place, and she's going to be able to use them, and she's going to make a raised bed. This here is a raised bed. I raised it up. It's got wood underneath it. I built lots of soil. Here come some of my neighbours now. Neighbours, they have no idea that they're living with the good administrator until this very moment. Now, they're just having a little conversation. So now we're just going to go in, and this week I'm going to show you the bird swimming pool, because last time it was quite dark and you couldn't really see it. But here we are. This is the main bird swimming pool. Now you'll see here they've actually been swimming, and they always get lots of debris into the bird swimming pool. And today is the day to clean the bird swimming pool out. So just get a little wipe. Give it a little rinse. Refill the bird swimming pool right up up to the brim. It really gets a lot of action. Yes. Good as gold. Ready to go for the next swim. Now, what else can we see here? I have to be very careful now. It looks like, because we've just recently had this special kind of fertility festival of Aosta, that was just last weekend in fact, and you'll see it looks like there's some evidence here of celebrations, some kind of confetti all over the ground. Now this is in fact good confetti. It's made out of paper, so we're just going to leave it there because it'll biodegrade. And you'll see that that confetti also kind of mimics what's happening in real life here on the ground, which is the blossom from the plum and the nectarine tree, which is confettiing on the ground in another traditional springtime festival. There's the overhead look. I dressed up today in special spring clothing because the blue matches the sky and the pink matches the nectarine blossom, and it's all, it's a bit exciting. And actually, if I come over here, we're coming over to where actually the birds have quite a lot of action here because they eat here. And you can see here, look at this. It's also another example of the archaic spring festival. Someone left that egg behind in the courtyard. Now, the other week I had a chop and drop here, which means I just cut all the dead material away from winter, which we're really glad to almost see the end of. Oh, look, just some of the flowers over there, blue and pink. Once again, they smell really good. And I put it all into this giant thing here, which I found on the street. And you can hear my neighbour, he's a bit noisy. I hope he's not too noisy for this video. But in here, now I'm making, this pot is going to be to put a rose in because it's outgrown its old pot. And I've got some vegetable scraps. And actually in here, there's all the dead material that I cut away from everything. Oak tree leaves and dead stems and stuff like that. And I'm just going to put that in there. The usual kinds of stuff. Pomegranate peelings, leafy green stalks, crushed eggshells, coffee grounds. I'll pop that in there. Put a little bit of soil on it. Pop a bit more. Carbon. So we've got this mixture of the nitrogen from the vegetable scraps, no onion skins, no citrus because we know worms hate them, and a good mixture of carbon, and we mix it all up. And it's going to be a really good base for the rose, and it's got really good drainage. Now these of course go into the bio-good to make a bit more organic fuel. Yes, it actually looks like, yes, there's some things in there. I'm going to take those out. You see, I am a bit of a scavenger, and I'll add those to one of these gardens over here because you can never have enough. But that's for later. Now, one thing that's really happening here is that a lot of things are migrating. We haven't yet seen any birds overhead during the shooting of this moment, but I did notice that during the winter I said, I don't see everything. I make mistakes sometimes. So I'm just bringing you over here to where I made a mistake in the past. Now, we all know that all these things that I've used, I'm recycling everything and I'm reusing the dead material, and I'm finding lots of stuff to help the birds, which are constantly migrating back. They live in the hedge, in this lovely kind of hedge here, honeysuckle hedge, and other plants, but they eat here because there's worms here, but there was when Leaf Blower Man was coming back to Leaf Blower Man again. He has a bit of an issue. Now this is one of the places where he was trapping the leaves. Now I used to make a bit of a wall, and you can see I've been weaving all of this creeper to stop the leaves coming through. Now, in fact, of course, this is a mistake because we do like freedom of movement. We're not going to have any kind of fortress Europe in my courtyard. Well, our courtyard. Our courtyard, this is a microcosm of the macrocosm, so this is our courtyard and our world. And so we're not going to have any lack of movement. And so here I am. I'm just going to make this action now to free these, what are they, linden leaves, which are full of nutrients and bacteria and really useful things for the garden. And they've been trapped in a kind of like enforced arrest, like a long prison kind of for several months. And they're not doing anything here. So I'm just going to tear down the wall. Look at that. Tear down the wall. All of these beautiful lots of useful stuff can go to a new life in our courtyard. We just pop them here. They're going to be used for another day.